Hello, people. Just want to actually come on here and do another video. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I did my last video. I don't have I guess I don't really get or feel the need to constantly post videos, every week or every other day or whatever. I just do it, excuse me, whenever that I feel that it's necessary. And again, when I actually feel like there's some information that I really need to get across to someone, whoever it may be who chooses to listen to my video. For the most part, this is going to be like another one of those wisdom videos. I pretty much, I like doing videos where it's wisdom. I haven't forgotten about Bible study videos and such like that. Those are still coming. That'll never change. And I think hopefully the next video that I do, that'll be the one. I'll do another one of those. But I actually felt the need to go ahead and actually post a video about, the importance of, just learning to keep some things to yourself and just basically just being quiet, just basically shut up, for the most part. We living in a society now where, people like to post and share things. We share everything under the sun, from birthday, vacations, and, innocent things like that, work related issues, jokes, whether they be nasty or fun loving, whatever. But, there's just some things that really, that it's not really should be privy to everybody. And the thing about it is that, I found that for the most part, you can actually tell a lot about a person by the constant things that they post, Like I said, and in social media definitely is the culprit of that. And for the most part, the after effects, I believe, of social media, or the byproduct, I should say, of social media is the fact that, it's left people with low self-esteem. I think they did a study on something like that where they actually did that, and they actually found that, the correlation between low self-esteem or self-image and Facebook users, I guess based on how they use Facebook. But I've actually been a witness to a lot of things, as far as when social media first hit the scene, back then, even up to now. And like I say, even though I see a lot of things, I don't really post about it because I just feel that people are gonna, we see things every day, and I think that there's not really anything new under the sun. Besides, the Bible actually says that as well. But I've been witness to some pretty heavy dealings with folks who actually use social media, I guess, for the wrong purpose, say things that are out of line, or actually do things or post something. The next thing you know, they don't get the reaction that they think they should get based on whatever it is that they post. And for the most part, I want to kind of deal with, I guess this particular, I guess I wanted to kind of break this video, I guess, into two sections. I guess one, where you talk about sharing information, and two, learning when to be quiet and just be quiet and just let things, ride out or whatever the case may be. But the first part I want to talk about, is, sharing. Sometimes, there's just some things that folks don't need to know, plain and simple. And the thing about it again is that, some of the things that I actually ran across and see people post, online, and it be some of the most personal things that you can think of regarding relationships, intimacy issues, advice about what they should do in certain situations regarding their particular boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, are these people stupid? Because remember, when you're using social media, you have to actually use that with the notion that you are going to be, scrutinized by a whole lot of people. Especially if you didn't put it on private and you actually just put it up there, you send a private message. Well, you send a message to somebody, excuse me, on their wall, if you will. And basically other eyes are going to be looking into that. And you already know that anything that's juicy or that can be gossipable, that can be actually gossipable, if that's the word, you best believe that people are going to take that and run with it. People are going to use it and get as much drama out of it as they can. And then when the person who originally started the conversation or started posting situations, they get all upset and bent out of shape. But the issue is that who should they get mad at? Should they get mad at the people who actually looked at the information, or should they get mad at, themselves for actually being dumb enough to post information like that? Sharing is good. Don't get me wrong. Sharing lets you know that you want to keep people, who you feel, that let people know, what's going on with you, and stuff like that. That's what I would call healthy sharing. But the type of people that we're actually turning into these days are the type of people that is just wanting, they just want attention. They post everything, and for the most part, they share things, and some of the things that they share, it reveals more about them than they would really care to reveal, if you know what I mean. I can't tell you how many countless posts that I see when I run across my timeline regarding, women, how beautiful they are. They are happy with their bodies. They're showing off, the major, the only thing that I believe that they really feel that is of worth or substance, which is their behind. And like I say, and I don't really say much about that, because like I say, it is what it is. I mean, like I say, you have a lot of people here that, again, that constantly bash black women. And I don't want to turn this into a black woman video or whatever, but like I say, you can't ignore what you see on social media. And because of those bashings and because of those down talkings, it really has left a very a large hole, I would say, in the hearts of black women, and just, I guess, women in general, maybe, where they actually have to post, on Facebook, social media constantly, and the main thing that they're posting on there is, for the most part, how they feel about their bodies, how they feel they're in shape, that nothing is going to hold them back, and all this other type of stuff. Whenever I see videos or actually see postings like that, it really resonates and really tells me things that I really do not want to know. Because first of all, if you see someone always posting about, body pictures and stuff, and they're constantly primping in the mirror and posting pictures of themselves, or whatever, that lets you know that there's an issue with insecurity. And that's one of the major turnoffs, really, in, when you're wanting to get to know someone. The main part about that is that, insecurity speaks loudly, and it can be heard far ways, a long way away. But confidence doesn't have to yell, because it already knows that it's actually being understood, and it knows what it wants, and it gets what it wants, because it commands, to be heard. That's the thing that I like about it. That's wisdom talking. But the thing about it again is that for those females, and I've seen some where they actually pretty much strip almost naked. I guess one step away from being full blown porn, and stuff like that. And I'm still thinking, okay, Facebook allows this type of stuff to be posted, and I could report it, but I'm like, what's the use? I mean, it's not going to change anything, because basically, if you want to change, it starts with the inside, and when you want to change from the inside, then you'll turn around and, the outward, it'll show outwardly. But a lot of females, they like to share, pictures of their bodies, and men, we're not far behind. We do the same things too. We just do it more on, with our chest and our muscles and all this other type of stuff, but, the thing about it again is that it's okay to post, but you got to make sure that when you've crossed the line, when you're starting to become obsessed, And like I say, it's easy to fall into that obsession of wanting to be liked, wanting to get the likes, wanting to get the happy faces, wanting to get those little heart, little icons that they have there on Facebook, And the thing about it again, if you're not careful, you'll get caught up in that particular stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you'll be posting stuff every day just to get likes. And the thing about it again is that, I'm not ashamed to say, when Facebook first came out and I saw what it was and how people reacted to other folks when they posted stuff, I started to almost get into that type of stuff. But I had to realize at an early point that, there's no need for me to actually post to get likes from someone who I may never meet, who I don't know, or whatever the case may be. Because the thing about it again is that the people who are in my inner circle, my family and everything, those are the people that's most important to me. Not someone who lives across the city or across the United States or whatever the case may be, who happens to run across a video of mine on a whim and actually post a little comment or whatever the case may be. I mean, those type of things, those are not important to me. But we've become so attention deprived people that for the most part, do and say almost anything just to get some attention. But I actually wanted to kind of bring attention to the females for a minute here, because again, I'm not trying to be, misogynistic or sexist or anything like that. But, again, I speak from the truth, and I speak on what I see and what I observe. And again, one thing about it is that you can't deny what you see and what you observe on a day-to-day basis. But, I ran across a picture of a female, and she's in one of those, I can say it, booty shorts, and stuff like that. And she's showing off her only asset that she feels that is of substance to her, which is her behind. And the thing about it again is that you had typical thirsty men that wanting, leaving inappropriate comments and everything like that, saying, what they would like to do and all this other type of crazy stuff. And I'm like, women really need to research their history, because there is, if you, I mean, big booties and all this other type of stuff, this is not something that's new. It's been around for a long time. And like I say, and the thing about it again is that the only reason that it constantly stays in hype, if you will, is because you actually have people that are finding new, what they call newer and different ways to advertise what's already been there for centuries. I don't know if a lot of people know about the story of Sarah Bartman or something like that. She was a woman that lived overseas. This has been like centuries ago. And basically, she was known for actually having an unusually large backside, if you know what I mean. It brought attention to her, and the thing about it again is that she, it was something that white folks never saw before. It was just something that just was, I guess, something that was just to be, I guess, treasured, I guess, if you would, to the point where they actually, the white folks pretty much wanted to put her on display, sexualize her and abuse her for the most part, just so they can get some sort of gain from it, if you know what I mean. And the sad part about it again is that she wasn't known for anything else except for her behind. They put her in a circus show. Where they put her even in a cage. Where people was actually forced against her will to prance around and show people her backside, because that was just something that people did not see in that particular time frame. And for the most part, she died pretty much at a young age. I mean, if memory serves me correct. But the thing about it is that she was promised so much stuff. She was promised fame, fortune, and all this other type of stuff if, she would do certain things, for the white folks. For the most part, I think they brought her from France. They brought her to France or something like that. I don't know. But the issue is that she was promised so much and she was given so much fame. But the thing about it is that everything that she thought that she would get, the attention that she thought that she would receive from it, it wasn't really what she thought it would be. And the thing about it again is that all the promises that was made to her, let's just say that it didn't work out the way that she planned. The thing about it, I think they said they actually took I guess pieces of her body or something like that, part of her behind or whatever, and actually had it on display. If memory serves me correct, I think in my earlier readings and studyings of that particular thing. And I think recently too, a couple of years ago, they actually took it out of a museum because it was actually part of an exhibit in a museum, where people can actually go up there and see it. And the thing about it again is that, she thought that she was actually being taken seriously, but yet still people were making a mockery out of her, and the thing about it is that they forced her to behave in this way, and stuff like that. These days, you still have women that are flaunting around and showing off the only thing that they really feel is of value. And the thing about it that they're not even getting any coins for it, and that nobody is forcing them to do it. Is all because of what they want to do. But yet still they're not getting the attention that they really truly desire. Because the thing about it again is that anytime you see someone flaunting and sharing pictures, back and forth, of almost every time you see some post something, it's always got to be about a body part or their self-image issues, whatever. The thing about it is that people will look at it, but the issue is that what they're searching for and looking for, they're not going to get it. Because the thing about it again is that, they're looking for the deep things, I guess, for the most part, at least I would think, or I would hope they would be. But the issue is that what they get in return is a bunch of thirsty tongues. That's all. And the thing about it again is that it may be cute and all this other type of stuff in the beginning, but over time, things change, people change, and next thing you know, you're going to be wanting to look for a relationship and want to find somebody who is worth your time, if you will. And the thing about it again is that they're not going to really want to have anything to do with you because they already know that you're nothing but used goods for the most part. Because if you post a picture of yourself behaving like a whore, next thing you know, we're going to assume that that's what you do. That's where you get your kicks, if you will. And guess what? You're going to be treated as such, plain and simple. But, just rewinding back and coming back to the front, there's just some things, again, that, people share, like I say, about themselves. And the thing about it, again, is that, everybody is not out there for your good. And that's sad to say. Even family members, sometimes even with them, there's just some things that you just don't want to share with them because you already know that even though we knew each other, we know each other, we're family, I still know that you don't have my best interest at heart. So it's best that, I, don't share certain information with you. I've seen brothers and sisters sometimes in some cases that can't really talk or relate to one another because of the fact that one does not trust the other. And like I said, and if you share something with them that is so personal, next thing you know, the whole neighborhood is going to know about it, and you already know who said anything because, like I said, it's only one person that you talk to. But you have to be careful about what you share and who you share it to. Like I said, you got a lot of people that are just there. It's like they're like leeches. They're only there to suck the life out of you. They're only there to encourage you to do things that they already know that they wouldn't even do themselves. And that's the sad part right there. You got a lot of people that encourage them, that's okay, post that, do that, if I wasn't you, if I was you. And they're lying through their teeth because they already know that if they were in your situation, they would not dare tell somebody the same information that you're telling them. But yet still they will encourage you to share your secrets with them. Those type of people need to be scrutinized and watched closely. Because again, there is no love there, even though they say it is, and there's definitely no trust there. Sad to say. Now, the second part that I actually want to talk about also is the art of being just being quiet. The art of being quiet. Now, you would think that, again, that would be common knowledge with some folks, but you have to sometimes tell some folks to just shut up. You know what I mean? There's sometimes when you have to tell people, look, you're talking too much. You're revealing way too much information. Be quiet. Save the mystery. Let us be able to figure out some things instead of you just blurting stuff out. Let us be able to make the determination, and the thing about it. Because what I've learned, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of other folks learned as well, is that when you sit there and let somebody talk and talk and talk, eventually they will reveal their true motives, their true inner beings. They will reveal their true selves. And I mean, I've seen it, on social media, I don't know how many times, people sitting up there revealing and talking. And next thing you know, while you're talking, they're actually researching everything that you're saying. And seriously, just truthfully speaking, you got folks that do that. They will sit up there and they will let you talk, and they pretend that they're interested only enough just to try to get some gossip going. And I'm trying to tell you, we have a lot more of those type of people these days than the honest, true kind where you can actually go in secret and really talk to them where they wouldn't reveal anything. It's really kind of hard to really find a lot of people like that these days. And the thing about it is that even for those that call themselves got a true trusted friend, sometimes you got to kind of really look at them sideways because of the type of conversations that they have with other people. See, the thing about it again is that there's an art really to, and there's really a lesson to be learned in everything, but there's an art when you're actually going out there actually confiding into someone about something. And the thing about it is that I understand we're human. We want to have somebody to talk to and stuff like that. Somebody to kind of console us and help us through. To kind of feel our pain a little bit, offer us advice. But you really have to be careful with the people who you go to with your information. Truthfully speaking. You really have to think long and hard about the type of people who you go to, whether it be online through Facebook or whether it be, through any ordinary dealings where you're in face to face with someone. Because again, what I do, and like I say, there's a science behind, for the most part, everything that I try, I do, because I try to be smart about my dealings in everyday life. Now, like I say, I'm not saying that I'm always alert on everything, but with the most important things, I make sure that I research and I do what I'm telling other folks to do in most cases. Like I say, some cases I may be lazy and like I say, let some things slide. And guess what? I pay for it later because like I say, I'm not above anybody else. But for the most part, when it comes to things where it involves the matters of the heart, you have to be very, very careful. What I do is, like I say, when you're talking about friends and accepting friends on social media and then you all start to talking about different things. Number one, I'm not going to actually sit there and accept people just by a friend's request, even if I know who you are. Because the thing about it is that I don't know you. All I know is that I see you in passing. We pass each other. We don't hold a conversation. So what I do is that usually before I even accept a friend request or anything else, I go and I look at your profile. I see the type of people who you deal with. I see the type of stuff that you're into. That's just the way that I am. That's the way that I roll. And that's the reason why I have a good little bit of, I guess, friends or whatever on social media, but I don't have nowhere near the thousands that folks have that want to call themselves trying to be somebody. Because one thing about it, again, is that there's a lot of drama going on in this world, and it doesn't take much for you to lose a life. And that's just talking on the real. And the thing about it is that if I can see in your profile that, number one, you take so much endless selfies and all this other type of stuff, narcissistic as all the world can see, always in somebody else's business, always offering your 2 cents when it wasn't even asked, I know me and you are not going to jive. And I would just simply ignore the request or deny the request, if you will. Because the thing about it, again, is that the last thing that I need is for somebody to actually, make my life harder than what it already is. And that's by gossiping and talking about me behind my back or saying things to other folks that are just simply untrue, just so they can have attention for themselves. See, one thing about it, again, is that, there's an art to shutting up. Sometimes you just got to learn just to be quiet. Everything is not for everybody to know. Some things you have to really keep to yourself. Even if you really want to say it, where you think that it would actually, and it can be the truth. It doesn't have to be a lie. But the thing about it can be the truth. But the thing about it, again, is that why are you sitting up there blabbing about something like that? And, what is your motive behind it? You wouldn't want nobody telling your personal information like that. So why would you actually betray and do that to somebody else? That's why, again, especially in the Christian faith, unfortunately, you got a lot of people who call themselves Christian folks, but they're the biggest gossipers. They're worse than the sinner man out there in the world. The minute you tell them something, they have diarrhea at the mouth. They go running, telling all kind of things, being a talebearer and revealing secrets. But yet still, out of all of that, they won't say anything personal about themselves. It's all about what they heard or what they saw somebody else doing. And the thing about it, again, is that they didn't even take the time to research and ask the person something before they went and drew the wrong conclusion. And next thing you know, spreading lies and got other folks looking at this one person with cross eyes. That's why I said, if that's what you call a friend, I would much rather not have any. That's why I don't have many. I have people that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. I'm not an invalid. I'm not a hermit. I mean, I got folks, people in my inner circle that I talk with, like I say, and I even meet people, new everyday people or whatever, and I hold conversations with them, lighthearted conversations, but it's not something where I don't think where I would actually spend or have a lifetime friendship with. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm that way, but the issue is that, you be friendly with people. I mean, that's how you get friends, is by being friendly. But when it comes to actually finding folks who are suitable that I can actually go to and talk to about my most innermost personal issues and stuff like that, you're not going to find too many people that is really worthy of that. And that right there in and of itself is a problem. I mean, like I say, people want to be seen. They want to be heard. And the thing about it is that they will actually say things that are not true just to get that. They want that attention. And the thing about it is that, once they get that attention, next thing you know, it costs them a friendship. Because that was something that was not supposed to be told to anybody else. And something that wasn't supposed to be revealed. Now, if someone actually comes to me and tells me, okay, I need to talk to you, personally behind closed doors about something that's been going on, and like I say, and the thing about it is that I'll wait for them to give me the cue. Okay, is it something that, that I can share with someone else? Not that I would, but just, or is it something that really needs to stay between you and I? And I've had conversations like that before. And the thing about it, again, is dependent upon the situation. If somebody is thinking about killing themselves or taking their lives or doing harm to someone, to themselves or somebody else, you best believe I know I'm only one individual. So I know I'm limited in what I can do. But if I get someone else involved, then maybe, we can prevent whatever it is that's about to happen. But if it's something that somebody is going through, where, it doesn't involve anybody else, it's just them, and they say, okay, I need to talk to you. I'm going to hold that to my heart. I'm not going to reveal that. And the thing about it, I'm going to go and take it to the Lord in prayer too. That's the only other person in situations like that who I'm going to talk to about that. Because again, I don't want to be known as being the busybody gossiper. That's not a good reputation to have, although a lot of people fit that very well and they wear it very proudly. It's crazy, about, situations like that. I mean, you can't really trust people. And the thing about it, again, is that, and I'll say this too, is that you got a lot of people that go and seek advice from people, again, and getting instructions from people who really they should not even be talking to. Okay, oh, you need an example? Okay, I'll give you one. You have some people that are married that are going talking to someone that's single about their problems. Now, you being a married person, you're going through some issues with your spouse or whatever, but yet still you're going to take advice from someone who is not married or who never has been married. Does that make any sense to you? Now, if you must go talk to someone, and I've seen this happen, that's why I'm able to speak on it. But if you must go talk to someone, I would think that the best person that you would need to talk to is somebody that's been married for a long while, that's still married, and that knows the ups and downs of marriage and knows what it takes to actually to still be married despite going through difficult circumstances. Those are the type of people that they would need to talk to, not someone who is single and never been married. And vice versa too. You got some people that are single. And I guess with that, the other situation, if there's somebody that's looking for a mate, I guess it would be okay to talk to someone who is married because they can actually draw back on their single days and they can let the person know what it took for them to actually find a decent woman or a decent man. Now, I can understand that. I can rock with that. But the other situation around where you got a married person taking advice and everything from a single person, they're looking at it. The single person can only give life wisdom through the eyes of being single because that's all that they know. They don't know anything about being married. So how can I counsel you or tell you anything about something I don't know about? I'm not helping you. If anything, I'm looking at life from a single standpoint. Now, this dimwit that's going to sit there and listen to that and take that information and take it back to their marriage, it's doomed to fail. Because number one, it's not meant for the married person. They're giving advice based on the life of a single person, not anybody that's trying to stay in a committed relationship. It's amazing, though, how people really become duped because they don't think before they act. You're seeking advice, you're sharing information. And the thing about it, again, is that, you already know that stuff is going to come back and bite you in the hind end, but yet still you're okay with it. And next thing you know, rumors, it doesn't take you long for rumors to start. We already know that. And with social media, it goes even 10 times faster. Because guess what? All I can do is, I don't even have to go and talk to you. I can go and tell somebody something in private, set the conversation to private, and you'll never know that I was talking to you or talking about you to one of my other friends. That's why a lot of people say, oh, that's my best friend. But you got to understand, your best friend, who you call your best friend, who you share and tell intimate stuff with, they have a best friend as well. And I guarantee you, you may hold them in high regards, but 9 times out of 10, they're not going to hold you in high regards. They'll go to somebody else and talk about you based on what you told them because you thought that they were your best friend. I'm trying to tell you something here. These are life lessons. And this is some true stuff. That's why we have to really be constantly on guard with the stuff that we share. If you're going to share anything, share the word of God. Share the word of God. Share the Bible. Share something that means something. Something that can actually bring joy and inspiration to some folks. Because all of this other type of unnecessary stuff with fashion and clothing and all this other type of stuff, although I'm not saying that it's not wrong, that it's wrong to do it, because like I said, you want to show people that you're doing okay, but you want to keep it within a healthy realm, not where you become, oh, I'm somebody because I can afford this, that, and the other. No, miss me with that. That's the quickest way that I can ignore you, because I already know that it's not about you really trying to help somebody. It's about you trying to help yourself. And that's not the way to live. It's not. But, I just wanted to actually just do this short rant, and just kind of let you know, that sometimes, you have to be careful about what you share. And then you also have to know when it's okay to talk and when it's okay to keep your mouth closed. You can know a lot of stuff, but the Bible says that even the fool is regarded as wise when they keep their mouths closed. That's something, and that's in the book of Proverbs, I think it is. A fool is counted as being wise when they know how to master or how to be quiet in some things. Everything, again, is not meant for nobody to know. Your business is not everybody's business. Learn to keep your stuff to yourself. All right? Peace out, folks.